What happens when a deadly game has no players? Imagine 16 students, locked inside Hope's Peak Academy, told the only way out is to eliminate a classmate and escape unnoticed. But what if everyone just said, "No thanks. We're not playing your twisted game"? Would Monokuma give up? Would the mastermind rewrite the rules? Or would something far darker be waiting for those who dared to resist? Today, we're diving deep into one of the most chilling what-ifs in Danganronpa, the world where nobody takes the bait. At the start of Danganronpa, trigger Happy Havoc, the students are lured into the academy, trapped, and introduced to the mutual deadly game. The rules are simple, but brutal. Live here forever, safe, but trapped. Or graduate by targeting a classmate and escaping judgment in a trial. The mastermind's gamble is that human nature, fear, greed, desperation, will eventually snap the group in half. That someone will get hungry for freedom and turn against the others. But here's the question, what if it doesn't happen? What if Makoto, Kyoko, Byakuya, and the rest just refuse to play? What if they made breakfast together, played cards in the common room, laughed at Monokuma's taunts, and decided to live in unity instead of paranoia? At first, this looks like Hope winning. But in Danganronpa, things are never that simple. Monokuma thrives on chaos. If the students united, he'd lose control almost instantly. But he's prepared. We already saw it in the game using motive videos. Clips showing family members in danger. Dark secrets exposed. Carefully chosen messages to dig under the skin of every student. Now imagine that timeline. Toko sees her video and grows more paranoid, hiding away and snapping at the others. Yasuhiro might panic and suggest risky escape plans, desperate to see his family again. Sayaka, already insecure, could plot in secret, smiling in the group while privately scheming. And if no one took the bait? Monokuma would escalate. Starvation rations, shutting down bathrooms, turning off heat. A comfort squeeze to force anyone, into desperation. Because here's the truth, the deadly game was never about escape. It was about spectacle. Despair, broadcast to the outside world. But here's where it gets interesting. With no eliminations, no trials, and no distractions, the group would actually have time. Time to explore, test limits, and start piecing together the mastermind's tricks. Think about it. Kyoko, the ultimate detective, wouldn't be busy solving murders, she'd be focused on solving the school itself. She might notice Junko's odd behavior earlier, or piece together clues about the cameras and surveillance. Sakura, the ultimate martial artist, would probably rally the group into daily training and guard shifts, making them harder to manipulate. Byakuya, prideful and cold, might still play games of power, but instead of turning the group against each other, he'd be planning how to outsmart Monokuma himself. Ironically, refusing to participate in the deadly game could break the mastermind's plan faster. Without despair to feed on, Junko loses her greatest weapon, distraction. But unity is fragile. Let's be real, would everyone really hold out? Sayaka might be the first to falter. In the original timeline, she already planned to frame Makoto. In the snowplay version, her fear of losing her idol career could drive her to quietly plot an escape, even at the cost of betraying someone. Toko, torn between her insecurities and her obsession with Byakuya, might lash out if she felt rejected. Byakuya himself? He might manipulate others just to test them, seeing who's weak enough to crack under pressure. And Hifumi, with his obsession over Celeste, might become her pawn in a secret scheme if she decided to take advantage of him. Even if no one openly eliminates anyone, paranoia alone could tear the group apart. And Junko would be watching, smiling, knowing that despair doesn't always need a murder weapon. Sometimes it just needs doubt. But here's the chilling part, Junko isn't the type to accept failure. If the students refuse to play along, she'd change the rules. Maybe stage an elimination herself. Maybe frame someone. Maybe trigger an execution as punishment for inaction. In fact, she'd probably treat their unity as her greatest challenge, an opportunity to prove that no matter how strong hope seems, despair can break it. So imagine this. Monokuma randomly executes a student to force the first trial. Or Junko sneaks in an infiltrator, someone secretly working for her, to create chaos from within. Or she turns the entire group against one unlucky student with a lie so big it can't be ignored. In this alternate timeline, the first elimination might not come from the students at all, but from Junko herself, to restart the cycle of fear. So what really would have happened? Best case scenario, the students unite, search the academy, expose Junko early, and shut down the deadly game before it spirals. Worst case scenario, unity fractures, betrayals simmer, and Junko escalates into full-blown psychological torture until someone finally breaks. Either way, the no-play path becomes the ultimate test of hope versus despair. And isn't that the essence of Danganronpa? The question of whether people can truly resist despair, or if it will always find a way in. So I'll leave you with this. Would the students' unity have saved them? Or would Junko's obsession with despair have crushed them from the inside anyway? Drop your theories in the comments. I want to hear which characters you think would have cracked first, and whether this deadly game could have ever been stopped.